All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 54 of Benching and Bullshitting. And really happy to be here and talk a little bit. I am a little hoarse, so if my voice starts to go, the longer I talk, the worse it gets. So I have some hydration, of course. Maybe that'll cut down on the amount of uh, hoarseness that I have. But so anyway, so it's been a really good week, man. Like I said, I was going to talk about the training week to week, and then we get into questions and things like that. Of course, I got YouTube over here. I've got Instagram right up here, and right away, someone is asking, when did you get introduced to powerlifting? In what the fuck year was it? I was 18, so it was 2008. 2008 is when I got introduced to it. Let's see. Well, Booyah, what kind of shirt are you using? That's what I need to know. I got an answer for you if you tell me what kind of shirt you're using. It'll depend on that. Size too small of what shirt? Tony, how we doing? Raymond? It'd be nice to see you again. Nice to have you guys on here. Thanks for hopping on my YouTube live. I'm just going to answer some questions here and let's talk trading for the week. Anyway, once I wait on that question about the shirt. Yeah, I was 18 in 2008 and I was born in 90. So, and Booyah says he got an Evil Twin, single ply Evil Twin. Okay. You were a 48. Best suggestion is to, if you can get into it, then I'd say to start using it with very, very, very lightweight. You need to break in those new fibers. They're very tight. You need to break them in with lightweight, get them moving. So you might add a little bit of water to the chest plate. Warm water is better. And just start doing lightweight. So if you're a 500 or 600 pound bencher, take 315 and do like 3 sets of 10. It's not going to move much more than a quarter inch, but you got to get that material moving with light weight for the first 3 to 4 sessions and increase the weight slightly, 315, 365, 405. And then within about maybe the 4th or 5th session, you can start taking heavier weights down to the actual boards. So if you can't actually get into it, if it's too small for the arms, maybe blow up the sleeves a little bit with like a football or something, add some water to the sleeves, put a football in there, inflate it, leave it overnight, get those arms a little bit bigger. Lemon Lime Kool-Aid says, will the switch back to poly be a big process to relearn, or will it be like you never left? It's going to be a process. It's already a process because the process has started. And I've realized just how different it really is, even though I know that. But yeah, it's been a process. So I did warn everybody about my voice. It's already starting to sound a little bit more coarse. So the more I talk, the worse it gets. Let's see here. Terry Conjugate. Yeah, I will check my DMs. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll get to you soon. I have been bombarded recently with a lot of questions and DMs and stuff. So I will get to you, Terry. Absolutely. I do not have a bicep day. Nope. I do not have a bicep day. I have a back day. A lot of back days. And Booyah's asking, when you take a 1500 for a ride? Well, I'm doing something different for a little while, so it's not going to be for a while. It's probably going to be like a year plus before I get back to that kind of training. So Jonathan over on YouTube says, hey, Jimmy, I wanted to build a new bench program. Bet you 3 times a week. Would you do sets, rep ranges look like? How would your well, if you're dead set on doing 3 days a week, I would definitely, those at least 2 of those days, you got to back off. Make 1 day heavy. I don't recommend 3 days a week. I think that's a little bit overtraining for the bench press. I would do 2 days at most is what I would do. But if you need to do 3 days, you can make 1 or 2 of them at least, lighter days, speed day, if you want to do speed work. If you're trying to do, that's just a lot, man. I don't think 3 days would work. But if you want to do it that way, then please, by all means, you have to listen to your body's recovery. To recover from that's going to be tough. 2 days a week is optimal. 1 day a week is not enough. 3 days a week is just a little bit too much. You definitely got to dial back, do volume work, things like that. So, But yeah, so anyway, man, it's been a great week. It's been my first week officially back off of this break, as I've called it. It's been a break. I actually posted a YouTube video kind of recapping on the last year and a half. And it's been a wonderful year and a half. Reggie Bush, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to have you on here, dude. How you feeling? How's everything going? That's kind of a dumb question, but hope you're doing good, bud. Hope you're doing real good. Anyhow, yeah. Let's see. Instagram removed my comment. That's interesting. Surprised you managed to see it. Yeah, I got you, bud. I mean, it's just kind of it's way up here now. I couldn't see it. I have to go back all the way back. But yeah, I got you. I'll check my DMs, man. Have you ever competed in all 3 lifts? Yes, I have. A long time ago. It's been about a decade since I've done 3 full power. But yeah, it was fun. I didn't enjoy it as much as just the bench, which is why I've kind of specialized just in bench. But yeah, so this week was great, man. My poly, now we're talking polys, is unfortunately my poly's been at Anderson Powerlifting for about the last week, maybe week and a half. I needed some serious alterations done to it, and all the other polys that I have actually outgrown. They don't fit anymore. So I needed to get some work done. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just put an F8 on. So went in and benched 1,000 pounds for 8 reps, full range. Second time handling 1,000 pounds since July 29th. 29th? Yeah. Or the 27th. I think my meet was the 29th of July. So it's been almost 2 months to the day, almost, that I've handled 1,000 pounds only twice, and that's been in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's been, so that was a good sign of training and things to come. Feeling great, just waiting to start radiation and chemo. Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I'm with you in spirit, my friend, because that's you're a tough dude, so I think you're gonna be just fine. Yep, thinking about you, bud. Martinez Rodney says, how are things going? I'm doing fairly well. Thank you. Over here, because of the weather, I started to work out at 6 a.m., 110 freaking degrees, 90% humidity. Any other suggestions when you work out really early in the morning? Get up early enough to actually be awake. Get calories in you. That's going to be tough early in the morning, but it's just kind of a necessity. And get your hydration in the night before, especially. So whenever we would do runs in the Marine Corps, they would always tell us the things you do 1 to 2 nights out from a run is what was really important. So if you're getting up that early because of the weather, you definitely the night before, the second night prior, or 2 nights prior, you should definitely get a lot of sodium in you. I love the element packets. Or element, yeah, little sticks. So, I don't lift that early, train that early. That's some Marine Corps shit that I promised myself I would never do again. Yeah, plans to Ohio got scrapped. Yes, they did. We were not prepared mentally, physically, psychologically to leave our crew, to leave our gym, to leave our friends. So we have such a good group of people where we train at Unleashed Strength, Manassas Park, Virginia, and we couldn't leave them, so we stayed. We were a month out from having to decide to sign a lease or move on, and we signed another lease because we couldn't leave them. We had so much more shit we wanted to do while we were here, so we scrapped that idea. It'll happen in the future, maybe. Texas in our future eventually. We want to go work for Anderson Powerlifting at some point, but so yeah. But yeah, Ohio got scrapped. How long does it take you to recover from a heavy bench? About a week, unless I fry my CNS, then 2 weeks. Normally on the dot, it's 1 week to recover. If I need longer, it's exactly 2 weeks, and I'm back to normal. Let's see. During your training, how many reps did you make? I'm not sure what you're referring to. This last bench day, I made 8 reps at 1,000 pounds. It's 1,001. It was literally 1,001, which is annoying as shit. So yeah, because it was 935 on my F8 bench bar. So that's 8 reds a side plus 55-pound bar is 935 plus 66 pounds, so a yellow a side. And it comes out to 1,001. So I did 8 reps with that. That's not my best. And I said that in my YouTube video about it. My first official, like, I'm done with my break and it's time to start training bench again. I've been training other things, don't get me wrong. I've just not been training bench heavy. So that was my first, like, back into it. We also did that on a 12-inch pad. We've had to resort back to using a 12-inch pad because these guys have, what's it called? North of the Border coming up in November, and they're using a 12-inch pad. So we had to stop using the 14-inch pad and go back to the 12. And when I had repped 1,000 pounds for 10 and also 11 reps full range, it was all done on the 14-inch pad, which is legal in the IPA. So we had to go back to the 12. So I repped 1,000 for 8 on the 12-inch pad. My second time handling 1,000 since July 29th. So I'm really happy with that. How many warm-up sets and working sets do you do on bench? It really varies. It really does. I could do anywhere between. Sometimes I do the empty bar for 2 to 3, 4 sets. 1 red, 2 red, 3 reds, 4. Don't jump to 700. So I'd say 5 to 6 warm-up sets, if not more, and then 2 to 3, maybe 4 at most working sets. How are you able to bench 1,400? Like, what did you do to get that strong? 19 years of consistent work. There's no secrets with me. It's just I've been doing the same thing. Well, training for the same thing for 19 years. So if you want to know exactly what I do have a Patreon where I post all of my training for $10 a month. Let's see. Hey, Jimmy, just curious, do you ever do direct accessory work for chest, or do you just let the benching take care of it? I do direct work for the chest. I don't have a chest, so I'm trying to currently build one. Operation Get Bigger Titties. I'll do dumbbell incline work, floor flies, because Swim Hack does a lot of those. Just normal bodybuilder stuff, cross bench, dumbbell pullovers, and things like that. Let's see. I think I answered that one. How much time did it take you to bench 200 kilograms? I benched 450 when I was 17 years old, so it took me 3 years. I started lifting weights when I was 14. Dennis over here on YouTube says, how can I deal with my elbows getting painfully tight while doing exercises that stretch them? Avoid doing those exercises for a while. They're telling you something. If you're getting a deep stretch and they're hurting, back off for a while. Also work on your elbows by taking a band around your fingertips and extending your fingers. Work those extensors. That can help with elbow pain. But I would say avoid doing the things that are making it hurt. That's what I would do initially. Let's see here. Okay. Yep. Right on. Same here. No pecs. So yeah. And then Strength Next Generation says, Jimmy, what should we be looking forward to regarding the world record or straight? Wait a minute. What should we be looking forward to regarding the world record? Oh, half a kilo or straight to 1,500. I mean, I don't want 1420 or 1430. I just want 1,500. So I think just training to do that lift. If you train for it, you don't have to do anything before it. That's kind of one of my, not my mottos, but one of the things I kind of think of it that way. I think just training straight to go to 1,500. Just come out, do 1,500. So when I went to this meet in Tennessee, I intended on hitting that 1,400 on my first attempt. Just one and done. Get it the fuck over with. It's gonna hurt. Just get it out, get it done. And it took me till my third goddamn attempt to get it. And I paid for it. It was very painful. I thought my arm was gonna break. It was just soft tissue screaming at me. I couldn't even make a fist afterward. My arm was so fucking torn up. So yeah, it took me 3 attempts. Really pissed me off. So I'd rather just come out after training for it, obviously, just open with it, smoke it, and then just be done and never have to train for it again. Blam on YouTube says take a week off here and there. Or is your training made up so you'd never get that fatigue? I just pretty much train heavy year round. If I need a deload, if I listen to my body and it says take a break, then I'll take a break. But overall, I don't really take deloads or program those, which is hard for me to train other people or program other people because I don't deload. So I don't always program deload. So I have to tell them, like, you need to tell me when you need a break. Otherwise, I won't program it because I don't know any better. So it's really hard for me to work with people. That's why I'm only working with, I think I'm working with 3 athletes right now, and that's all I can handle. Yeah, and Reggie Bush says, one and done is the best idea. That is correct. How many, okay, no. What is your advice to increase my bench press? How many times per week should I do? Train your back, train your triceps, train heavy, train smart, train slow, and bench twice a week. That's the most simple way I can put it. Let's see. Cool. All right. Yeah. So anyway, it's been a fantastic week. Like I said, the benching went exquisite. I am doing the poly thing. I just needed a couple of weeks to not do poly because I sent it out to Anderson to get it altered with some pretty cool alterations. When I get the shirt back, I should have it back. They shipped it today. I would think I'll have it by tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm betting Wednesday I'll have it. So when I get the shirt in Wednesday, probably I'll be making a video about it, showing you guys exactly what they did, how they did it, and what to expect from it. And that'll obviously go on YouTube members and Patreon, of course. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be fucking cool. I am not going back to katanas. That's one question I get all the time. They say, "Hey, we hear you doing the poly thing again. Are you going to use katanas?" Because I used nothing but katanas for 12 years straight, almost 13 years in competition and training was all katana. Single ply, double ply, grid stitch, open back, triple ply, close back, you name it. I used all variants of katanas for 13 freaking years. And no, I do not want to use katanas anymore. Sorry, I don't want to fucking use them. I don't. They are asshole-y shirts. They are hard to use. You come down to touch, you get to that last quarter inch, and it feels like the weight's on a tripwire on a fishing line. And if you go a millimeter that way or that way, you're going to dump it. So they just have such a tight tolerance for where you can touch. You have to leave it there. It's so damn hard. Now the return of the shirt is great, but man, they are hard to use. So I'm using an F6. I'm using an F6 now. Yep. Which is kind of a step backwards, but like Elon Musk always says, like, hey, what did we unengineer today? What did we make more simple? So the F6 is kind of a step down from the katana, but it's more simple, and I like that, and it's going to be easier to touch with. Fuck yeah. And Reggie Bush says, Evil Twins are the same way. Damn. I only used the Evil Twin maybe 2 or 3 times in training. I never competed with one. So it's all katanas. Is there an end goal? Did you ever think you would make it this far when you started to quit benching? Well, the first part of the question is, yes, the end goal is to do 1,500 pounds, 3/4 of an American ton. I know y'all over the sea, a ton is 2,200 pounds or 1,000 kilos, but an American ton is 2,000 pounds. So 1,500 pounds is the end goal. No, when I first started equipped benching, even before I started doing equipped bench, when I was in middle school, when I was 18, 19, I started at 14 years old, but when I was 14, 15, 16, a 700-pound bench press was like unheard of. Like only a few people had done it. Ryan had just benched 800 pounds in 2002 for the first time in history. So the 800-pound bench had just been done by Mr. Ryan Kennelly, not Anthony Clark. Okay, it's Ryan Kennelly was the first man to bench 800 pounds. And that was in 2002. So 2003, 2004, 2 years later, I had just started lifting weights. So 700 pounds was still very rare. I think Gene became the first man to do 900 in 2004. So right when I started lifting, he just benched 900 pounds. And then I think a year later or two, he benched 1,000. So my end goal at that time, at that age, before I died, I wanted to bench 700. That was my life goal, to bench 700. When I did that at 19 years old, I was like, I think I could take this a little bit further. Little did I know that my goal of 700 pounds before I died would go double that and go to 1,400. No, I never thought that would happen, ever. I do not stop training before a competition. To answer that question, I do not. No, I train all the way up till the competition. I don't take any time off at all. Nope, no breaks. I started in a single ply F6 and still training occasionally. It's crazy to me to hear you were going to try for some of these crazy numbers in a 2-ply version. Yeah. I think there's potential with a 2-ply F6. Now I say that my best performance in a poly in the gym, in my opinion, was with a single ply F6. Is that the day? That's the day I benched 1,050 for a full range triple in a single ply F6, and then I could never replicate that lift in a katana. So I think the 2-ply variant of an F6 has some major potential. Here we go. Let's see. 6 Hybrid on YouTube says reverse grip is helping a lot. Triceps are getting stronger and back feels much tighter when I regular bench. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. That's awesome. A lot of people that try the reverse grip, man, they end up loving it. It's magical. I'm telling you, there's something to it. That's awesome. And Eric, how's it going? I'm doing great. How are you doing? Glad to have you on here, man. Let's see what we got up here. I already answered that. Let's see. No. Yeah. Well, yeah. Is there an inexpensive starter setup for equipped bench? Unfortunately, well, yeah, kind of. I'd be inclined to do equip for safety after tearing a pec twice now. You torn a pec twice. Yeah, that's the risk you run when you raw bench. That's why I don't do it. People get really upset. They get so pissed that I don't go raw. It's like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway because it's my life. So fuck you. And on top of that, I don't want to rip a pec. Yeah, starter kit, that's not really such a thing. But if you can find cheaper equipment, you can go on eBay. You can go on Facebook Marketplace, go on to some of these multiply powerlifting groups. People are always selling equipment on Facebook. So go there. Buy something used. That's your cheapest option. And also, it's going to be easier to learn how to use a used piece of equipment as opposed to something that's brand new. You have to break it in. It's a pain in the fucking ass. So buy something used. That's the cheapest option. If you want to buy brand new, buy something simple. Don't start off in like a triple ply STP from Inzer. Don't start off in a single ply katana or super katana. I recommend either a Fury or an F6 from Titan. If you're a flat bencher, Fury. If you bench with an arch, go with an F6. Go maybe a size big. You can always call Anderson Powerlifting and tell them that I sent you. You're looking for a shirt that you can wear that you're a beginner or you're inexperienced. I want something that I can get on easily, something a little bit bigger. They can help you with that. Just tell them that I sent you. Dan Oldman, what's up, man? Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for hopping on and supporting me like that, bro. It's free info. I don't believe in shooting people down. I mean, if you're being a weirdo, I always say that if you're being a weirdo, I'm not going to talk to you. But I've had people help me from day one till now, like still. And why would I turn around and not do the same thing? Are you on any PEDs? No, lifetime drug free. Let's see here. Thomas says, hey, Jim. Hang on a second. My voice is going. Just heard you're good. Oh, okay. As you know, my ass often comes off the bench. Now that I bench with a smaller grip and squeeze the bar harder, seems less an issue. Logic, I don't know. Something clicked for you. I couldn't explain that, but as long as it's happening and it works, then the logic, it doesn't matter what the logic is as long as it works. So I'm glad to hear that, man. And then on the 2-ply F6, did you add a thicker collar? No, ironically, this is crazy. The 2-ply F6 comes with a very, very, very rigid, stiff collar, even more so compared to a 2-ply. So if you order 2 shirts, order a 2-ply F6 and a 2-ply katana, put them side by side. The 2-ply F6 collar will be thicker and stiffer than the katana collar. Makes no sense. Because katanas are supposed to be Titan's premium, like, top shelf shirt. And they have a stiffer collar on the F6, on the 2-ply. On the 2-ply now. We're talking 2-plies. So I don't know. I don't know why. No, I didn't have to put a thicker collar on it. Because it already came with a pretty stiff fucking collar. It's weird. Let's see. Started a full reverse bench grip after seeing one of your videos, but haven't been able to figure out your claw grip easily. All you have to do is put the bar between your 2 fingers like this. That's all you have to do. Put the rings on the bar, about right here on your palm. Your pinky finger should be touching the rings. Just make a peace sign, and the bar sits right there. Just like that. Super simple. Glad you're trying it out, though. Love you, Reggie. Thanks for hopping on here, boss. Appreciate you, man. I know you're doing well, and you're going to be fine. So I'm glad you're. It's good to hear your. Well, I didn't hear your voice. Just glad that you're on here, man. Good to see that. Thomas says, with a bit of a smaller grip, I have the idea I can use more triceps. True, for some reason, but this is also raw. This is all raw. How do you feel about doing this with a supercharged rim or shirt or F8 Widowmaker? I would say go ahead and try it. If it's working raw, try it with equipment. Absolutely. If you found something that works for you personally, I would absolutely just start exploiting it and doing it all the time. Definitely try it. Just keep in mind, with a closer grip, you're going to have a further travel. So the equipment's going to have to stretch even further, which might cause problems, but you won't know until you try. So I would just try it. Thierry Buchert just wanted to tell you that you're a real legend. Well, thank you for saying that. I don't make any claims. I appreciate you hopping on here. I appreciate the support, everybody. Thank you all for hopping on here. Oh, my voice is going. When I talk more and more, my voice starts to get worse and worse. So I apologize. But yeah, so like I said, man, training's going fantastic. I have no plans to compete for a very, very long time. Well, that sounds like a long time. Okay, I don't have plans to compete soon. I have work to do. I have lots of work to do. Now, if there's a money opportunity, if there's money involved, I'll absolutely, break down and compete. For example, the Arnold. Okay, there we go. The Arnold coming up this year has a money opportunity, so I will be probably going there. In fact, I will be there. But I'll probably be doing the meet that's there. It's the Anderson Invitational Bench Meet, and I believe there's 10 grand up for grabs between the different divisions. So the female divisions, light and heavyweight, and the male division, light and heavyweight. There's 10 grand up for grabs. So you split it evenly. Now you're looking at like $2,500. That's a lot of money for us. That's big money. So that one's going to be cool. That's a 3-lift event. So that one's a 3-lift event where you have a total. You have a bench press total. So you're going to do all 3 attempts. You should choose your weights wisely, because if you make all 3 attempts, your total of your 3 attempts is what determines your placing. That's kind of cool. That's never been done before. If you miss one, if you open too heavy and you miss it, or you miss your third, now you only have 2 lifts to add together for a total. Now you're at a serious disadvantage. So you definitely have to open with something that you know you could do in your sleep to get all 3 lifts to make sure you have the best chances of placing the highest. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be the only time I compete in the next. So let's see, September, October, November, December, January, February. In the next 6 months. 3,100 total, you win. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my strategy would be for that. If it'd be open at $1,000, which is like toy weight, and then go to 10, 50, 11, or if I would go like 12, 12, 12, or like 12, 12, 5, 12, 10. I don't know how I'll do it, but that's on Saturday too. The bench meet, the last man standing, has always been on Sunday. When I did it this year, it was on Sunday. And the crowd's a little bit lighter. That's fine. But this one's going to be on Saturday on the stage, on the Rogue stage. I'm pretty sure. So if you're at the Arnold Classic, if you've never been there, I highly recommend you go. It's a fucking blast. There's tons of pro athletes and people that are there. Thor, Eddie Hall, Juji Mufu. I could go on and on and on. There's so many cool people at the Arnold every year, and we will be there working the Anderson powerlifting booth. Obviously, I can't give you a number. I don't remember what it is. We move a lot, so I can't tell you exactly where we'll be. We'll be there all 3 days, though, working the booth with Kevin and the Anderson powerlifting team. The XBC finals are always at the Arnold, which is pretty cool to watch. I got to see Laura Phelps. She was coaching some people. Chuck Vogelpohl was coaching some people. Only been able to interact with Chuck once, and that was not in the gym, so it was a good interaction. It was at the Arnold, I think, last year, year of 22, and he was there at a booth, and I got to talk to him for a little while. So I absolutely recommend going to the Arnold. It's a fucking blast. Thomas over on YouTube says, no, of course, I know it has a longer range of motion. Cool. Normally it was my middle fingers on the rings. Now it's the pinky, so it's not a massive. I thought you were going like from here to, I'm more like a foot difference. So if you're doing just like finger increments, then yeah, that's fine. That's good. Have you ever used steroids? Nope. I already answered that once. I am a lifetime drug-free lifter. And people get really testy when I say that for some reason. Everything equipped. Hi, Jimmy. What are the best drills to learn a shirt groove? Work down the boards. Descend the boards. 3, 2, 1, half board touch. That's the only way I know. That's the only way that I've ever been taught. That's what I've used for 15 years competing and 15 years benching and equipment. Just work down the boards. If you have a really long arms, longer stroke, then 4 board, 3, 2, 1, half touch. Just work those boards on the way down. Some people like to say boards are kind of worthless. I beg to differ. Used them for 19 years almost, and I've had pretty good success using boards in training. Thierry says, do you like Metallica? I don't. I think Metallica's kind of lame. I haven't pissed anybody off, but it ain't my cup of tea, man. It's just not. I like a lot of music, except country. Country no country. But Metallica, I don't like at all. I've never liked Metallica. Even when the old Metallica new shit, it all sucks. Sorry. Yeah. I don't think so. We're not doing that. No. It's taking out the trash. People get salty over you being natty because I know I've seen you reverse grip bench press 6 plates fully raw, and they probably can't even hit 6 plates for a single ever. I don't know what people's problem is. Blam says, favorite ammonia brand. I'm a really big fan of the Toxin. It's Asylum. I'm pretty sure it's what it is. We sell it at Anderson Powerlifting. It's Asylum, and they come in 3 different models, and it's really fucking strong. I kind of got off the ammonia train. I did it for a while. I think I burned a little bit too many cells in my head, so I don't use it anymore. I'm ready up here. I don't need to outwardly show like emotion and stuff before a lift. I'm ready up here, so I don't really need it anymore. Yeah, let's see. Do you do any incline bench variations or strictly flat bench? I do incline JMs, incline dumbbell press, trying to build some pec mass, right? Incline dumbbell extensions, but I don't do incline like barbell press. I don't do that anymore. I'd say 90% of what I do is all on the flat, either flat bench or on the floor. Yeah, my head comes up when touching in my single ply super katana. Is it a good thing or just go with it? Um, that's how I was taught to bench, was push the belly up, pick the head up, and look at it. So you're trying to compress your head and push your belly up, try to compress your body this way to meet it, like push it up towards the bar. If you're lifting your head up, some people say that's bad, like you lose upper back tightness. I've never had that problem. I don't think that's necessarily true. If it works for you, that's what I keep saying. Like don't listen to me. if I'm, listen to listen to what your body's telling you. If you like a certain variation, if you do something a certain way and it works for you, just keep doing it. If you're lifting your head up off the bench and it works, I'd say keep doing it. So just listen to your body, listen to your technique, and do what works best. If keeping your head back works better, do it. If you lift your head up, do it. I arch so much that I almost physically can't lift my head. Like when I come down to touch the last half inch, I'm benching blind. I can't see the bar anymore. I just have to know, like, okay, keep it there. I'm in my groove. Obviously, I've gotten down this far without dumping it. I'm in my groove. I just have to keep listening to my guy behind me telling me, like, one half, like I'm almost there. And then I'm benching blind. I can't see the bar. I want to. I'm trying to lift my head to see, but I just can't. I'm arching too much. So just keep doing it. You're fine. You got nothing to worry about. Yeah. Let's see. We'll talk about that later. Let's see. Everything Equipped says coming out to the WPO or Olympia. No, I am not. I am not. Cannot afford that trip. I will not be there. I will be at the Arnold. The next big trip, we will be at the Swiss Symposium next month in Columbus. Man, my voice is going. We'll be at the Swiss Symposium next month. We'll be at the American Pro also next month in Manassas. We will be at north of the border in Cincinnati or Kentucky, whatever one it actually is, in November. And we'll be at the Wabdol Worlds. We'll be at Wabdol Worlds in November as well. Let's see. Okay. What made you want to become a bench presser? Just watching all the big guys bench big weights. Gene Richlack, Ryan Kennelly, Scott Mendelson, Tiny Meeker, Clay Brandenburg, J.M. Blakely. Just all these big guys, Mike Wolf, all those guys that I envied and wanted to be like when I was in my teenage years. And I was always drawn to the bench. It's just the classic, teenager wanting to bench big weights. That's just literally how it started. I was always impressed by the heavy bench pressing. It just blew my fucking mind what these guys were doing. So Thomas Williams says, is having a separate day just for shoulders worth it to help bench, or should I just do different bench variations? I would go with the latter. I would do different bench variations. Some people will argue with me till the fucking cows come home. I do not think having a separate shoulder day is great for benching. I think that overhead press, I always like to say shoulders are important for bench, but overhead press is not. I think that your bench variations, your triceps and your upper back is great. Doing your shoulders, obviously with IYT variants and work those rear delts, but like the overhead pressing, I think can wreak a little bit too much havoc on your shoulders. Holy shit. Ryan Kennelly just hopped on my live for the first time ever. Welcome to Benching and Bullshitting, Mr. Bench Monster. Ryan Kennelly says, hey, Jimmy, I just wanted to stop by your show and say hi to the greatest bench presser in the world. Well, I give you that title, Ryan, all the time. You can ask these guys. I always say I bring up your name all the time. I think you got that title. Keep up the great work. You're surely a great role model and ambassador for the sport of powerlifting. Ryan Kennelly, I'm honored that you hopped on my show. I miss you guys. We don't see once a year is entirely too short. Wish you guys were out east. If you ever want to move out east, I know some great spots if you want to ever move out this way. That's uprooting a lot of what you got going on out there. That'd be selfish. Don't do that. Great to have you on here. Ryan Kennelly, everybody. My absolute fucking hero. Hope you and Ashley are doing well. I've been benching in a denim 2-ply lately. Oh, that fucking sucks. Any tips versus poly? Most of my experience is in single ply. Bench low. Go low. Push your belly up, pick your head up, and go low. Tuck your elbows as hard as you can. That's how I was taught how to bench. My first shirt ever was a 2-ply Karen Klein denim. And Adam Hicks said, if you can learn to bench in this, you can bench in anything, and that's been true to this day. So you got to go low. You can't bench up here. You got to go really low with those shirts. I have no injuries, luckily. Cool. Gazer Mazer says, how long you been bench pressing in order to make your world record? I've been bench pressing since I started, so it's been 19 years. Almost 2 decades, more than half my life dedicated to this shit to get to where I'm at right now. Blam says, did you do anything specific for your arch or just hammering it at it over the years? That one. I've been hammering it over the years, practicing it over the years. Obviously, to hold your arch, you need a strong upper back. You need endurance in the upper back. So you have to work your upper back like a fucking madman. And we got upper back tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, actually. Well, it's usually 10, but Chris saying he could possibly make 11 o'clock. So I'm probably going to push it to 11. Or I might go in and get like a workout in for upper back before we start the actual real work, me and Chris. So, man, sometimes I go into upper back days and I sit down and I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, oh, fuck. Because I know how hard it's going to be. So you have to have the upper back endurance and strength to be able to maintain your arch, because I've got 1,400 fucking pounds pushing me into the pad, wanting to try to flatten me out. So, but I basically just practiced it over the course of these 19 years. Marlon from Germany's on here. How you doing, Marlon? We're doing fantastic, bud. It's late as fuck out there, ain't it? It's got to be, let's see, it's almost 9, 10, 11, 12. About 2 o'clock out there? 2 or 3 o'clock? Gotta get some sleep, my friend. Let's see where we at here. Eric says, besides Ryan Kennelly, who is your favorite powerlifter of all time? I can't put it to one. If I had to put it at one person, like it's just one, and that's no other option, it'd be Ryan Kennelly. But yeah, I couldn't. I can't name just one person. If you're talking like all of powerlifting, so like outside of the bench only world, I can't name one. I mean, dude, Mike Miller, Andy Bolton, Gary Frank, Jeff Lewis, Dave Hoff, Donnie Thompson, Luke Edwards, AJ Roberts. Jesus Christ, I could go on forever. There's just too many. There's so many great people in the sport that have inspired me since I was a fucking kid. So I can't name just one person. But in that one instance, if I had to, it'd be Ryan, but you're saying besides Ryan Kennelly. So I can't. It's not possible to name just one person. Any idea on carryover adding the F8 insert versus the F8 figure 8 to a shirt? There will be a difference because there's less material with the figure 8. So if you have the full actual insert, you will have more material, you will have more carryover. They tend to be a little bit too cumbersome for my liking. I prefer the figure 8s because they're easier to manipulate and work with the whole giant shirt that you already have. Yes, sir, it is in the night, Marlon says. It's 2:48 in Sweden. Jesus Christ, man. Y'all need to get some sleep. You can always listen to the recording after I get this posted and stuff. It goes right on our podcast. I'm pretty sure it does. I think it does. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Where are we at here? Thomas says, was putting on weight ever a struggle for you? Was it pretty easy? No, it was fucking difficult as shit. It was only when I decided to take my weight gain seriously with weight gainer, mass gain shakes. I didn't start off with just like 1 6-pound tub. I was like, no, I need to fucking this needs to be a goddamn priority. I bought 2 12-pound bags to start this weight gain journey. When I benched 1,050 in Belmar, New Jersey, January 31st of 21, I benched 1,050 single ply at I think I was 280 or 275, 280 something. And by June, when I benched 1120 in single ply, I was, I think it was 300 or 310 or 315, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly. I think it was in the over 300. But I started taking the weight gainer. So it was hard. I was a hard gainer for a long time. But when I started looking at, okay, fuck protein intake, calories, calories, calories. I was listening to like Scott Mendelson talk about calorie intake and J.M. Blakely talking about calorie intake. And so, okay, screw protein intake. Fuck that. 1.3 grams per pound of body weight, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. Just tons of calories, and my weight started to go up. Calories is what did it. Let's see. Marlon says, will the last man standing be a tough meet because it's different than a normal 3-lift meet? Well, I ended up having to do 6 attempts, Marlon. I did 750, 859, 950, 1,000. I did 6 attempts. So it was much, much different. It was a much longer event. There was 6 full rounds I had to get through. And if somebody else had benched 1,000, then I would have had to take the 7th attempt and do 1,050. So it's more of a test of endurance and a test of strategy. So it's not just like biggest bench wins. When I won the Arnold in 2014, it was biggest bench wins. It was just biggest bench, regardless of body weight. You just biggest bench takes all. And I won it that year in 2014. Now it's this last man standing thing where you have to take multiple attempts in ascending weight. And if you miss it, if you miss a weight, you come back and like, how's it work? If you miss a weight, you either wait 2 people and you do it again, or you wait 3 or 5 minutes and then you reattempt it. If you miss it twice in a row, you're out. So you can miss a weight, you just can't miss it twice. And once it moves on, if you get it the second time, okay, now you move on. I think you can miss multiple weights as long as you hit it the second attempt you try it, I think. Good question for Keith Odell. I cannot remember all the details. But because we started so damn light, 750 was the opening weight. I didn't have to think about those things. Like, oh, what if I miss it? I'm not going to miss 750 or 800 pounds. So, yeah, it was a tough meet. It was different. It was but you had so much time to rest. You had so much time to rest because you had to, I did my attempt at the top end, and then I'd go 15, 20, almost 25 minutes for the next attempt. It seemed like anyway. So now if people start missing over and over and over again, and the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter, then it starts to really speed up because you only have a few people left. Yeah, it was fun though. It was a different experience. It was really fun. I almost wanted to do the Anderson invite on Saturday and then turn around the next day and do the last man standing on Sunday, like bench twice that weekend. But I don't know. Hope I made it well. It's a long journey for me. It would be so shitty if I miss a lift very early. So what you have to do, Marlon, is just be on top of knowing where the opening attempt is going to be. Okay, thank you, Thomas. He's got some information for me. My man Thomas with all the information. You have to know, like, so when I came in, I knew, okay, the opening weight is 750. Now, in the past, I've seen the opening weights be as low as like 660. I was like, wow, 660. Holy shit. I got to like open with it. I got to, it's difficult. But so as long as you know what weight you have to open with, it might be more this coming year. I don't know if they're going to start at 750 again or they're going to start at 800 pounds. I don't know. Each year it goes up a little bit. So you have to know exactly where they're going to start, then plan accordingly with your equipment. And Thomas says, last man standing, but then 1,000 pounds for maximum singles. Miss one is out. Turns based on body weight. When the group gets smaller, rest times don't go over time it took to do the full first round. Oh, you're saying that would be some epic last man. I see. I got it. I understand. Okay. That's an idea you had. Gotcha. Gazer, tips for benching. I don't know. There's a lot of them. There's freaking train your triceps, train heavy on the bench, train your upper back. Be consistent. Oh, you're 220 and below. Oh, I thought you were heavier than that, Marlon. 550. Oh, you're in the lightweight division. Oh shit. Okay, that makes sense. Well then, yeah, you have to just you have to be able to touch 550. Your bench, you're fucking around with 850 pounds right now, which is fucking awesome. So you have to plan accordingly and be able to have a piece of equipment that you can touch with 550, and then 650, 750, 8. So you're gonna have to bring multiple pieces with you in order to do that. Thomas says, yeah, that's an idea. It would add a lot of 1K presses to anyone's record. Approved in comp too. Yep. I was just like fucking around with this piece of this notepad here. You said it would add a lot of 1K presses to anyone's record. Approved in comp. I just looked. I have 14 1,000-pound attempts on under my experience belt right now that are successful anyway. That would add a lot, wouldn't it? Yeah, like over and over and over and over and over again. I look bigger. I'm a small motherfucker, he says. Yeah. Yeah, you do. I thought you were like 280 or something. Oh, Philip Hernan's on here. How you doing, Philip? Good to have you on here, man. I got like 10 minutes left, so thanks for hopping on here, though. Appreciate you. Best accessory for bench. I talk about it all the time. I think it's the reverse grip bench. The reverse grip bench not only is my favorite bench accessory, is my favorite way to bench press. So reverse grip bench. If you want to talk about single joint movements, floor extensions, incline dumbbell extensions, underhand pulley extensions, so like an underhand grip, stuff like that. So Thomas says you might end up with 22 or so then or more, because I've seen you 1K for 5, so I reckon 6 to 8 singles with rest should be doable. Oh shit, dude! I mean, I've repped 1,000 pounds for 11 reps when I was at my like peak, condition, I suppose, training for this 1,400. So yeah, I could crank if I had enough reps. I could crank it out all fucking day, dude. Like, that'd be a long fucking day, though. That'd be a long fucking day. So we'll get last minute questions in. I got about 8 minutes left. Do my plugs real quick. I want to talk about Patreon just for a quick second. If you want to watch what I do, how I train, the things I do in the gym, why I do them, my Patreon is $10 a month. So you find Kolbstrong right there, Kolbstrong over at patreon.com. You can subscribe for $10 a month and watch what I do. If you don't want to download Patreon, you can also go to YouTube members. It's the same price, $10 a month. You get the exact same content. It's just available if you don't want to have to download Patreon. You got YouTube members. We also have Anderson Powerlifting back here. Back there. There you guys go. There's my little corner that I'm not using. I'm sitting at the desk right now. AndersonPowerlifting.com is your powerlifting superstore for anything powerlifting related. If you need chalk, ammonia, wrist wraps, knee wraps, elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, belts, singlets, bench shirts, squat suits, anything you can frickin' think of. Anderson Powerlifting has it. You can get 10% off anything in the store if you use Kolbstrong. Right there is your discount code at AndersonPowerlifting.com. 10% off anything on the entire store. Disclaimer, everything except for the F8 bench bar. Anderson sells a lime green Anderson bench bar, the F8 Customs Sportcraft bench bar. It does not work for the barbell. Everything else it works for, just not the barbell. All right, cool. So there's AndersonPowerlifting.com again. Kolbstrong, one word, is your code for 10% off. We also have the Kolbstrong Scholarship. It's been a little bit slower this year. We've been very fucking busy traveling all over the country, up and down the East Coast. We raise money for young athletes. $1,000 at a time. For every $1,000 we raise, we sponsor one young athlete in powerlifting from the ages of 13 to 23. That's the teenage divisions to the junior divisions. And right now we're sitting at about $2,000 for the year, which again, we've been really, really busy. Haven't had a lot of time to do fundraisers or events, but the start of the next year, from January 1st to the 31st, We accept applications. All they have to do is go to kolbstrongscholarship.com, fill out the form, tell us their story. We look over the whole thing, a whole group of us go through, and we handpick the ones that need it the most. We cut $1,000 checks to those young athletes. So again, that's kolbstrongscholarship.com. That's the Kolbstrong Scholarship. We'll call it the foundation. I am the co-founder of that. It was actually Katie's idea. Paul, how we doing? Good to have you on here. We're just kind of wrapping it up, man. Yeah, those are the three things I wanted to talk about. We'll get some last minute questions before we sign off here soon. Marlon says, do you ever drop some weight to your body? What can I do to not do? I think being careful. Drop weight to your body. You ever drop some weight? Drop weight on you. Oh, I thought you meant like drop body weight. I was going to recommend element packets for that. Sodium. Dropping weight, like the drop from Scott Mendelson at the Bass Bencher was bad. Use competent spotters on the side. Make sure when they're spotting you, they have their fingers laced like this. Not like this, not like this. Lace your damn fingers when you spot somebody on the side. You will catch any weight. It's going to hurt your fingers, but you will catch any weight. Lace their fingers when they spot you. Use a bench that has the body savers. Move the body savers up and down. When you have the empty bar, take the empty bar out, bring it down, like set up for your bench, arch, bring the bar out, touch, and then look and see how much space you have between you, the bar, and the body savers. If they can go up, raise them up. So where if you drop it, it's going to fall a half inch. And it won't hurt you. You have to use body savers. You have to have competent, good spotters. My voice is going bad. All right. So last minute questions, please. I only have a couple of minutes left. Thomas says, winner takes all, and 50 or $100 for every lifter that hits a 1K per lift. If you could find the sponsors. Hell, if I had the money, I would sponsor that myself. Not going to lie. That would be some epic shit. That's a fucking awesome idea. Just have 1,000 pounds on the bar. The bar never goes above 1,000 pounds. You do all your warm-ups, load up 1,000 pounds on the bar, and then you just go 1 through 10. First attempt for everybody. And you just go and you go and you go and you go until you start dropping off. Interesting. That'd be a good idea, Thomas. If you can find the sponsors, that would be, yeah. That's the tough part with powerlifting too. You got to find the sponsors. There's not a lot of money in the sport. That's the hard part. I'll write that down actually. Thomas Williams, how do you get such a big arch? I can't get a decent one, but when I get there, I feel the strongest when my arch my back or hamstrings always cramps. Well, if you're cramping, you need more sodium. And I just build my bench arch through years of practice. But like I said earlier, you have to have strength and endurance in the upper back to be able to facilitate that. And Blam says specific upper back exercises you like. Oh, I have a laundry list. Penlay rows from the floor or off blocks or in a power rack from varying heights. Penlay rows, Penlay barbell rows. Shrugs of all types. Power shrugs, regular shrugs, SSB high shrugs. I really like SSB upper back. Upper back in mornings are fucking awesome. And then, of course, you got pull downs are kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not superficial. They're more for aesthetics. They're not, no one's going to build an enormous bench off of just doing pull downs. You need the rows, you need the shrugs, the power movements, the heavy weights. Seated cable rows are okay, but you cannot beat the free weights when it comes to building a big upper back. So upper back strength, upper back endurance. You need all of it. Because when you set that arch, there's the thing too. If you set an arch and you slide on the bench, right? Those commercial benches that they I don't know what company like Hammer Strength is that they get off on making the shittiest equipment on the face of the fucking planet, putting it in commercial gyms. Fuck commercial gyms anyway. Like, you know what I mean? but they make such crappy equipment for commercial gyms. They got these pads that are like that narrow, and they're slicker than snot. If you sweat at all, if you don't sweat at all, you'll still slide on them. But God fucking forbid you start sweating. You set your arch, and you take the weight out, and then you flatten back out. So it just depends. Yeah, I had to get sticky pad to put down on the bench at my shitty commercial gym. Once I get sweaty, I kept sliding around. That's exactly how it works. Yeah. So yeah, get sticky spray. I use the Marucci baseball bat spray. I work in a commercial gym. I'm so sorry. I did for years. Man. That's where I got started at a freaking local YMCA. That's where I got started. Jesus, that's going way back. Yeah, I got started at the New Philadelphia YMCA in Ohio, northeastern Ohio. Yeah, that's taken aback. Holy shit. And then eventually Adam Hicks found me and said, fuck this popsicle stand. Let's go to Blackstone's. I found myself in a powerlifting gym. I have not been back to a commercial gym ever since. Absolutely not. Yeah, Blam says it's funny they have a deadlift platform and a Texas deadlift bar, but their benches suck. That's kind of ass, ain't it? But yeah, man, you can make anything work, but after a while, man, something has to give. You need better equipment. I mean, hammer strength. I'm baffled how shitty most hammer strength equipment is. Oh, they're machine. They're like they're lever machines, like they're plate loaded back machines. They're plate loaded pressing machines, stuff like that. Those are fine. Their benches are atrocious pieces of garbage. Atrocious. Thomas says, yes, every time I bench on a commercial bench, I slide around and almost fall off the side of the bench because of how thin they are. It's fucking they're not thinking of, they're just thinking about the general population. They're not, I guess that's kind of their market. It's just gen pop. They're not thinking about power lifters and, there's special fancy benches and pads and stuff. You have hammer train there is like rehabilitation sport. Oh my God. Oh God. Well, you're making it work. You're doing just fine. I think you're doing just fine, Marlon. You're doing great. Yep. So, but what else we got? I think I might have missed. Oh, Paul says, I am spoiled. My commercial gym caters to powerlifters. It has the best equipment we could ask for. That is something. That's a rarity here. You got a monolift. You got bars. You got everything, bro. That's awesome. That's a rarity, though. Paul's down in Florida, which fucking rocks. Love going to Florida. Love going down there, visiting there. See, Thomas says, get yourself some yoga mats or something and a couple power bands. Expand the wideness of the bench that way. I do the same. Jimmy can vouch for that. It makes a hell of a difference. There you go. Yeah, but I've seen that too. They'll take the yoga mats and they'll lay them down on the bench, and somehow that adds a little bit of width somehow, some way. I don't know, but I see a lot of people do that. I train in 3 gyms and 2 powerlifting and bodybuilding gyms. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, hey, you gotta make what you have work. That's why I can't leave. I don't want to leave where we're at right now. It's just so damn good. We have good people. I always like to say this: if you are a truly good person, like to your core, not just like outwardly in front of other people, like what you do behind closed doors. If you are a truly good person, when no one else is looking, I think you will draw good people to you. Now, inadvertently, if you're a piece of shit, you're just going to draw pieces of shit to you. I truly believe that. And we just have a good group of people. I still talk with people that I was training with in Ohio up to 10 years ago. Blackstone's Gym and Iron Chamber guys. I still keep in touch with a lot of them because they're just such good people. Man, oh man. Pump House, Big Wayne, Myrtle Beach. That's in Carolinas, isn't it? North Carolina, South Carolina. Yeah. I think in America there are more good strength gyms. Yeah, I've never been outside the state, so I can't really say. But man, we've got such a good spot right now. And I got my crew, my people, my gym owner's wife, Joe and Margot, and their kids, and Joe's parents, and just man, it's incredible what we've built there. It's really awesome. Here, powerlifting is smaller, bodybuilding is bigger here in Germany. Oh, okay. So bodybuilding is more the thing than powerlifting is. That makes sense. Good to go. Okay. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. It's been just a hair over an hour. I got to eat again. We got to train back tomorrow, and I think Chris is gonna be able to make it today, or tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here again. Anderson Powerlifting. Use code Kolbstrong for anything you need at checkout. 10% off. Join me here live next Monday at 8. Okay. Let's see. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you hopping on here. Thank you very much. I'm flattered that you hopped on my show. That's awesome, dude. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Again, Patreon is $10 a month. YouTube members is $10 a month to watch everything that I do in the gym from set 1 to the last set of the first exercise to the last exercise with full voiceover of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it that way. Patreon, YouTube members, $10 a month. Anderson Powerlifting, use code Kolbstrong for 10% off anything at the checkout. We'll talk to you guys next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a fantastic week. Be strong. And yeah, see you next time.